One of my favorite parts of Plain Speaking, an oral biography of Harry S. Truman by Merle Miller. Pages, where are we here? 372, 373, and 374. Talking about Dwight Eisenhower. I don't think he had the sense to know that he didn't know enough. The trouble with both of the candidates in 1952 and again with the same ones in 1956, they just couldn't make up their minds about things. I don't think the one who was on our ticket would have been a good president, but at least he knew something about the office. Ike didn't know anything, and all the time he was in office, he didn't learn a thing. I'll give you an example. In 1959, when Castro came to power down in Cuba, Ike just sat on his ass and acted like if he didn't notice what was going on down there, why, maybe Castro would go away or something. Of course, what happened, the Russians didn't sit on their ass, and they got him lined up on their side, which is what you have to expect if you've got a goddamn fool in the White House. He was probably waiting there for his chief of staff to give him a report, and he'd initial it and put it in his outbasket, because that's the way he operated. He came to see me. I invited him in not long after the election, and he didn't want to come. I think he didn't want to interrupt his golf game down in Florida or Georgia or wherever it was. But he finally did come, and he looked around a little, and I could see that nothing that was said was getting through to him. He got there mad, and he stayed mad. One of his troubles, he wasn't used to being criticized, and he never did get it through his head that that's what politics is all about. He was used to getting his ass kissed. At one point he says to me, "Who's your chief of staff?" I held my temper. I said to him, "The President of the United States is his own chief of staff." But he just could not understand that. In all the years he was in the White House, he never did understand that the President has to act. That's why the people of the United States elect you. They don't elect you to sit around waiting for other people to tell you what to do. Now, when Castro came into power, if I'd been president, I'd have picked up the phone and called him direct in Havana. I wouldn't have gone through protocol or anything like that. I'd have called him up and I'd have said, "Fidel, this is Harry Truman in Washington, and I'd like to have you come up here and have a little talk." He'd have come, of course, and he'd have come to the White House, and I'd have said, "Fidel, it looks to me like you had a pretty good revolution down there, and it's been a long time coming. Now, you're going to need help. And there's only two places you can go to get it. One's right here, and the other's, well, we both know where the other place is. Now you just tell me what you need, and I'll see to it that you get it." Well, he'd have thanked me, and we'd have talked a while, and then as he got up to go, I'd have said to him, "Now, Fidel, I've told you what we'll do for you. There's one thing you can do for me. Would you get a shave and a haircut and take a bath?" Mr. Truman, whose sense of timing was as good or better than any stand-up comedian I've ever heard, waited for the expected laugh, and when it was over he said, "Of course, that son of a bitch Eisenhower was too damn dumb to do anything like that. When Castro decided to go in the other direction for support, Eisenhower was probably still waiting for a goddamn staff report on what to think." Harry S. Truman. Don't sugarcoat it, Harry. Give it to us straight. That'll do it for the weekly update this week. I hope we'll see a bunch of you again next week.